Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 7 of Power Pop Shakers, where I talk about Power Pop new releases and also some reissues as well. First up today, we've got the album Phil Flo's The Sunflower and Surf's Up Sessions 1969-1971 by the Beach Boys, which has been released as a CD box set, 2 CD set, also as 4 LPs or 2 LPs. As an influence on many of the bands in the international power pop underground, the Beach Boys are certainly worthy of a mention here. Sunflower is my favourite Beach Boys album, and Dennis Wilson's genius songwriting really shines through. He contributes 4 songs to the album, and his fragile vocals are really good as well. I've included the track Forever 2019 a cappella mix on the Power Pop Shakers playlist, and you can find the playlist by going to my channel and just clicking on playlists, and you'll see it there. And next up we've got Bubblegum and Where is Matthew Smith, which has been released on vinyl on Family Spree Recordings. It was released in August this year. It's actually a reissue of a CD that came out on Rock Indiana back in 2008. And this was the 3rd album by these Spanish power pop legends. By the way, the Matthew Smith referred to in the title is the Outrageous Cherry vocalist and guitarist. The songs on the album are full of melodic jangling guitars in the classic power pop tradition. And I've put the track Where is Matthew Smith onto the playlist. Next up we've got the Mox and a 7-inch single called Not Ready, which was released in July this year on the Bickerton label. They're a Dutch 3-piece, and they're sort of recreating the sound of 60s Nedda beat. It's a limited edition of 500, and the track Not Ready is on the playlist now if you want to have a listen. Moving on, we've got the dB's and I Thought You Wanted to Know, which will be coming out on CD and double LP on Propeller Sound Recordings on the 15th of October this year. This looks absolutely beautiful on double vinyl. I've seen a video of unveiling of the vinyl. There's 23 tracks of remastered early singles, demos and live recordings, and most of these tracks have never been on vinyl before. I reserve judgment on the live recordings. I'm just slightly concerned that they may only be of bootleg quality, but it's definitely on my wants list to explore further. I've put the track Bad Reputation, taken from the New York Rocker Sessions, to the playlist if you want to have a listen to that. Right, moving on, we've got Pleasure Island by Mom, which was released back in September 2020. It's available on CD and on LP on the Wanda label. Mom actually have a new 5-track free download which is on Bandcamp, and that's called Paul's a Fast One. And they do cover versions of ABBA, Whitney Houston, the Rubenoos, Marshall Crenshaw and Prince, and that was recorded over 2 weekends in July 2021. Unfortunately, there's nothing available yet on YouTube from those sessions, but you definitely want to check it out. And as I say, it's a free download. So what I have done is put 2 tracks from their 2020 album onto the Power Pop Shakers playlist. The tracks are Don't Leave With My Heart and I Want You to Feel What I Feel. They were originally a 3-piece band. They come from Malmo in Sweden, but they're now a 4-piece as they've added a permanent drummer to the lineup. It's fabulous, upbeat, hook-driven guitar pop, and the band call their sound guitar-driven pop music, which is exactly what it is. They've only just played their first gig, presumably because of all the issues with coronavirus since they released their album, and I think great things really await this band. They're just phenomenal. Based on what I've heard, I think they're just excellent. Okay, moving on, we've got the Famous Groupies and the CD Chameleon Sessions, which came out in August this year on the Orange label. The Famous Groupies are named after a Paul McCartney song on the album London Town, and the band is basically the work of musicians Kirk Coddy and Rosie McKenzie. It's the fourth album to come out under the name Famous Groupies, and all owe debt to early 70s McCartney, Emmett Rhodes and ELO. And I've added the track Voodoo Woman to the playlist, and as you probably already guessed, it sounds very similar to Evil Woman. Next up, we've got Los Pepes and the LP The Happiness Program, which is coming out on the Snap label at some point. I don't have a release date for that yet. They're billed as the loudest power pop band on earth, and Los Pepes, they're a London-based band, and they're led by Ben Perrier, and their frantic punk rock is sweetened by some nice pop melodies. Ben Perrier has uploaded one track onto YouTube, which will be on the album Never Get It Right, which was also released as a 7-inch earlier in the year, together with the track Want You Back on the other side. Right, moving on, we've got The Letters and Nobody Loves Me, coupled with Don't Want You Back, and that's been reissued as a 7-inch on the You Are the Cosmos label, and that came out a bit earlier this month in a limited edition of 500. Actually, if you go on the website, it says it's already sold out, which is a bit annoying. They were a power pop band with mod leanings that came from Bath, and this was their only single back in 1980. They did get back together in 2002, and they did some new tracks and put together some tracks that were left over from 1980, and produced what was an excellent album on the Detour label. I've added both tracks to the Power Pop Shakers playlist if you want to listen to them there. Next up, we've got Wildlife and Year of the Snake, which came out on CD and LP on the Wicked Cool label back in April 2020. They're a slightly cartoonish punk band, and they bring sort of real energy to what they do. They remind me a little, in fact, of the Dictators. It's good old-fashioned guitar-fueled rock and roll with choruses that really want to make you funk the air and sort of lose it in a sweaty club seeing this band live. And I've put the track Kiss and Tell onto the Power Pop Shakers playlist. Next up, we've got Tommy Ray and Handful of Hits, which is out as an LP on Beluga and also on CD on the American label Kool Kat. He's the former leader of the power pop band The Cry, and since then he's released 2 solo albums, First Hits Free and now Handful of Hits. He brings a punk attitude and a Stones Faces studied sloppiness to the genre. He's referenced a number of 3-minute pop songs by the likes of the Ramones, the Exploding Hearts, Paul Collins and the Beach Boys, and it's nice to see someone giving a nod of approval towards Exploding Hearts, who for me are one of the greatest bands of the last 20 or 30 years. And I put the track No 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 onto the playlist. And that's it for today, and it would be great if you could take the time to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you again soon.